In this episode of the Firsts channel, we will explore the development of VR technology. In 1935, a visionary named Stanley Weinbaum released Pygmalion Spectacles, a story that introduced the concept of a pair of goggles which allowed one to experience a fictional world through holographics, smell, taste, and touch. Weinbaum's work is significant as it laid the imaginative foundation for virtual reality, VR, a concept that would evolve into a multisensory immersive experience, changing the way we interact with digital environments. Back in 1838, Sir Charles Wheatstone was the first to describe stereopsis, the process by which the brain perceives depth by combining two slightly different images from each eye into one 3D image. Wheatstone's discovery of stereopsis is the bedrock of 3D imaging and VR, enabling the creation of depth cues necessary for the realistic three-dimensional experiences in VR technologies. In 1960, Morton Heilig patented the telesphere mask, the first head-mounted display, providing a personal cinema experience. The telesphere mask was a pioneering step towards personal immersive experiences, leading to the development of head-mounted displays for VR. 1961 saw the creation of Headsight by Philco Corporation engineers, Kamau and Bryan. It was the first motion tracking head-mounted display. Cinematographer Morton Heilig created the Sensorama in 1962, the first VR machine, which was an arcade-style theater cabinet. Sensorama was an early example of multisensory, immersive apparatus, combining visuals, sound, vibration, and smell, foreshadowing the multisensory VR experiences we have today. Thomas Furness, a military engineer, created the first flight simulator for the Air Force in 1966, marking a significant advancement in pilot training. The development of this flight simulator was a landmark in VR, applying the technology for practical and life-saving education in high-risk scenarios. In 1968, Ivan Sutherland, with his student Bob Sproul, created the first virtual reality head-mounted display, named the Sword of Damocles. Despite its rudimentary and intimidating appearance, the Sword of Damocles was a monumental step in VR, demonstrating the potential of head-mounted displays for immersive experiences. Myron Kruger, a computer artist, developed a succession of artificial reality experiences using computers and video systems in 1969. Kruger's work was pivotal in interactive art, blending technology and creativity to form early versions of what would become interactive VR environments. In 1972, General Electric Corporation built a computerized flight simulator with a 180-degree field of vision, using 3 screens surrounding the cockpit. In 1979, the McDonnell Douglas Corporation integrated VR into its Vital helmet, an HMD for military use, enhancing training for combat scenarios. Stereographics, in 1980, created stereo vision glasses, an essential component for experiencing 3D content, and enhancing the illusion of depth in VR. In 1982, Sandin and DeFonci created the Saya gloves, the first wired gloves, which allowed users to interact with virtual objects using hand gestures. Jaron Lanier and Thomas Zimmerman founded VPL Research Incorporated in 1985, a company that would become a pioneer in the commercialization of VR technology. Jonathan Walden exhibited Virtuality, a VR arcade machine, at the Computer Graphics 90 exhibition in London, bringing VR to the gaming world. Sega released the Sega VR-1 in 1994, a motion simulator arcade machine that provided gamers with a dynamic and immersive gaming experience. In 1995, Nintendo launched the Virtual Boy console, which played 3D monochrome video games, marking the company's first foray into VR. Despite its limited success, the Virtual Boy was a notable attempt at bringing VR technology to the consumer market and paved the way for future innovations. In 2012, Palmer Luckey launched a Kickstarter campaign for the Oculus Rift, a groundbreaking VR headset that garnered significant public and industry support. The successful crowdfunding of the Oculus Rift marked a turning point in VR, signaling a strong consumer interest and investment in the future of immersive technology. Google released the Cardboard in 2014, a low-cost, do-it-yourself stereoscopic viewer for smartphones, democratizing VR for the masses. Cardboard's simplicity and affordability made VR accessible to everyone, sparking a wave of innovation and content creation in the VR space. In 2014, Sony announced they were working on Project Morpheus, a VR headset designed for the PlayStation 4, bringing VR into the gaming mainstream. Project Morpheus, later renamed PlayStation VR, bridged the gap between high-end VR experiences and home entertainment, expanding the VR market significantly. HTC released its HTC Vive Steam VR headset in 2016, featuring precise motion tracking and room-scale VR, setting a new standard for immersive gaming. The HTC Vive's advanced technology provided users with a highly interactive and engaging VR experience, pushing the boundaries of what was possible in virtual gaming. In 2019, Nintendo entered the VR market with the Labo VR kit for the Nintendo Switch, offering a unique, creative take on VR for a younger audience. The Oculus Quest 2 was unveiled on September 16, 2020, as an all-in-one VR system with significant improvements in performance and resolution. The Oculus Quest 2's standalone design and enhanced capabilities made high-quality VR more accessible and convenient, further popularizing VR among consumers. In 2021, Pico launched the Pico Neo 3 headset, a direct competitor to the Oculus Quest 2, offering an alternative in the standalone VR headset market. The introduction of the Pico Neo 3 added healthy competition to the VR industry, driving innovation and providing consumers with more choices. In 2023, Apple announced its entry into the VR market with the Apple Vision Pro, signaling the tech giant's commitment to the growing field of VR. Apple's move into VR with the Apple Vision Pro is expected to bring new advancements and further mainstream acceptance of VR technology. Thank you for joining us on this journey through the history of VR technology. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the Firsts channel to support.